Indiana Junior High School Principal Michael Minnick is on the telephone with us, and our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. The guys, it's the first day of school. It's not like he doesn't have other things to do. So, Mike, let me thank you first for being with us here this morning, taking a little time.
Thank you, Mr. Marino. I appreciate the opportunity. It is the first day of school, and I can't tell you how refreshing and uplifting it is to see all of these fresh faces walking into the building. Even though they're covered in masks, it is a step in the right direction, and it's like a weight being removed just to get some forward motion with normalcy again.
Yeah, getting them back in the building is a challenge. First of all, get them on the bus. There are things that are different now, and will be different. They'll become the norm for us, but it might take a little bit of time, shouldn't it?
Well, our plan for the first quarter does look different than the traditional school setting. Getting them into the doors. First of all, kids do enter the school through the same entrances that they always have. Unlike any time prior to the present, they're wearing masks. They're having their temperatures checked upon entry. This morning went remarkably smooth, and off to first period. So we'll see how the day goes. You know, we have a lot of the procedures and scheduled events throughout the day, including lunches and just the regular class rotation. It's going to have a different look about it for sure. But we've been working so hard throughout the district to prepare for this day, and I'm happy just to get the kids back in. I really feel like that's a big first step that we needed to get to when we finally have today.
The start of any school year is always a challenge because every school has new students that are experiencing this for the very first time. And in your case at the junior high, you're accepting students into the building who are coming from 4 different elementary schools. And it's their first experience in this sort of a setting. And the typical day is certainly not typical for them because they've never experienced this before. Talk about assimilating them into the school body.
Of course, you raise a terrific point. We have new students coming into the 6th grade, as well as students who've transferred in from other schools into the 7th and 8th grade. Part of our traditional orientation to the building includes a spring visit to the school, which obviously that did not happen. But we did facilitate our annual sneak peek, and we divided our incoming new students in half so that we had 2 separate programs, but they were essentially just an introduction with teachers, with other key staff members, including our nurse, our counselors, the building principals, and so forth. And we just talked about what to expect these first few weeks of school. We had a really good turnout with that orientation. And to be quite honest, I think the first few days of school, due to the hybrid model that we're operating with, kids coming in for 2 days on and 3 days off at 7th and 8th grade, we are expecting somewhat of a elongated orienting to the whole process. We expect to spend a little more time than we normally would on things like procedures and just norms and expectations, because not only are they new to the building, they haven't been in any building for upwards of 6 months. So we have to take that into account and really become familiarized again with everything from how do we conduct ourselves, how do we collaborate and get along and take care of one another. And those relationships are really the foundation of every bit of work that we do moving forward.
It's a question I'll ask Sean Ford from Purchase Line an hour from now in some form or another, but we thought about this as school was ending, and we thought about the summer slide and the fact that students take a while to get back into learning mode. There's a certain period of time at the beginning of the school year that is more review of what we learned previously just to get us up to speed. Do you anticipate that will be a longer process this time around, or are kids ready to roll?
Well, it's hard to say. I think it's a fair. I think it's a fair estimate to expect students to have somewhat regression from the last time we were in school together. I think to determine where we need to spend our time this first quarter, we need to gather as much in the form of assessment data and just getting a sense of where they are presently, whether it's reading levels or mathematics levels, and just using the standards that would typically be our opening teaching points across all content areas, and gauging where the students are, whether they've regressed or not is really yet to be determined. We typically rely on those spring assessment data points as well as fourth quarter grades to really gauge where to begin the school year under normal circumstances. So without either one of those data points being consistent with what they've been in the past, it really begs the need to establish a baseline now and move forward in an intelligent way that hopefully gauges where our students are in terms of readiness to move forward at their grade level, or if we have to rewind a little bit and rehash some of the fourth quarter concepts from a year ago. That's what we were prepared to do.
School is more than just a regimented learning environment in a classroom setting as well. It's also learning social mores and how to get along with each other. I'm sure the kids are so excited to see each other for the first time, and might take a little bit of extra work in order to make sure that everybody's following the social and physical distancing rules. But the extracurricular activities, the social activities that are a part of school life, they do require some special attention this year, don't they?
They certainly do. The athletics across the country have been such a big topic for discussion. How to facilitate all of the extracurricular offerings that we present throughout our programs offers those same questions, and we are going to do our best to provide the full gamut of programming in terms of extracurricular that is safe and responsible. And like our classroom structures, they're going to have a different look to it. The optics are going to be very different than they've been in the past. But we value our music program, we value our theatrical programs. Of course, athletics are prominent in their own right, and the attention that athletics gets is a good lens for consideration on how to do our whole offering of extracurricular events. But the social distancing is going to be maintained. Masks are going to be maintained when it's appropriate, and again, we want to get kids back into the flow of being in school and developing those relationships that have been kind of put on hold in the traditional sense. And to be perfectly frank with you, I feel like as human beings, we're not meant to be caged and distanced. We have a responsibility right now to maintain safety and to get through this period. But our kids are really excited about getting back here because of the relationships that they miss and are hungry for. So we want to get to that point where we're operating in a traditional sense as much as possible, as soon as possible. But for now, we're doing what we need to do to get there.
Yeah, can't imagine what it was like over the summer with all of the extra training and all of the ideas being tossed around by faculty members and administrators and the custodial staff, the people working in the cafeterias. Everybody had to come together this summer. It's a pretty collegial atmosphere, isn't it? I'm really blessed with a fantastic team. Our custodial staff, our administrative supportive staff, and our cafeteria staff they're just good people, and our teachers are good people, and they want to do what's responsible and what's right for the benefit of the community. That's why the school
is such a rich community, and I'm not just talking about the junior high school. I'm talking about schools in general. They're intended to be a safe place. They're intended to be a place where positive risks can be taken in the name of learning, but that doesn't happen unless it's safe to begin with. If it's safe from a security standpoint, to a health standpoint, and from a relational standpoint, we all work very hard at promoting that foundational security in order to do the work that we've chosen to do to the maximum of our ability. So it starts with the people. It really ends with the people. That's what's rich about a public school.
He is Dr. Michael Minnick. He is the principal of the Indiana Junior High School. On the first day of school, spirits must be very, very high, and that's a good thing. I want to thank you for being with us here this morning, and get back to work, will you? Quit taking time out to talk to me.
I want to wish you the very best too, Mr. Marino. We're going to get there. Together we're better, and I wish you to make it a great day.
All right, and you too. I appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
There's Mike Minnick, the principal of the Indiana Junior High School.